Hey everyone, Zyborgian aka James here with another album review. The album Dustwalker by the band Fen. I gotta start off by saying this. It's always cool when you hear an album that's not quite like anything you've heard before. I mean, especially when you're going into it kind of expecting something and it surprises you and just just gives you a sound that you really can't compare to anything else. That's what totally happened to me on this new record by the atmospheric black metal slash post rock band Fen. Wow. Okay. If you haven't seen my videos before, then you might be surprised at the length, blah blah blah. It's huge. Well, you can make it shorter by clicking this. This will allow you to skip most of my video, which is a track-by-track review, and just go to me talking about the album as a whole. But, on to that track-by-track review. First song on this album, Consequence. This is your consequence for pressing the play button. You just drop straight from that comfy chair you're sitting into, listening to this music. You just drop straight into a black metal hell when this song starts. These chords are just like blasted into your face, and they're extremely dissonant and raw. But it sort of evolves out of this dissonance as the song progresses, and it gets sort of beautiful in a way. Much how like Ne Obliviscaris are able to combine black metal with beauty, but nowhere near to that degree. And there's almost a melody going on, but it's not really clear because of the giant wall of rawness and distortion. It's got a very, typical sort of underproduced black metal production. Like, if you're into that, you probably will like this. But another thing about this song, and this whole album for sure, the vocals. The vocals on this are great. His scream, his black metal shriek is just like desperate and dying. And it's like something you'd hear maybe in like some suicidal depressive black metal. It's just fucking great. It's like he's screaming his last will in these lyrics as he's about to die. And some of the clean vocals really reminded me of some stuff I've heard on some depressive doom metal, such as Ab. Very powerful stuff. And towards the last part of their song, there's a bit where you can hear a bit of acoustic guitar, and the song slows down just for long enough that when it goes back into that black metal hell mode, it's the most powerful moment in the whole song. With just these fucking classic Mayhem de Mysteries blast beats and these fucking gurgling, tortured vocals. Overall, a very enjoyable listen, but it pales, absolutely pales in comparison to the next song, which is fucking incredible. Hands of Dust, best song on the album. Even bigger and more epic than the last song, running over at 11 minutes. And it just starts out with this gorgeous, clean guitar melody, very, very much in the opposite of how the last track started out. And then the vocals come in, and they're gorgeous too, but the song, it keeps building and building and building and getting ever more intense until at the 5-minute mark, it explodes. And the song just gets punishing as fuck, but it still maintains the beauty of, like, the beginning of the song, which is a damn good feat for, like, any band that can do that. And the song sort of starts, as you get further in, like, at about the 7-minute mark, it starts grooving a bit, which you might not think would work for, like, an atmospheric black metal band, but it really does. The chords used here work very well, and it's a sort of a simple riff, but it's very effective. Love this song. Definite favorite on the record. Awesome shit. Next song, Spectre. The clean guitar playing at the beginning of this song, as much as I like the previous song, this one just put the goofiest smile on my face. Like, sometimes when I listen to music, very rarely will a song actually force me to smile, but this song did it. Like, the end of Dragon Iconography by Keep of Callison also did that, but this song did it too. And then the vocal line over it made me smile even bigger. It's just fucking awesome. All the way up to 3 minutes, this song is flawless, but there's this part that comes in that really interrupts the flow. It's just this sort of weird grooving riff with, like, the drums doing this weird shit. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm describing it right. There's just a part there that really interrupted the flow for me. But other than that, the whole entire song, other than that, flows great. And about halfway through the song, everything chills out, and you get this clean guitar line with a lot of production fuzz and very minimalist drum work that gets this really, really chilled out, relaxed atmosphere for a few minutes, and it's very pretty, and it builds up. It functions as build up to the very heavy ending of the song. Very well structured stuff. Next song is an interlude via the song Reflections, and I guess I'm going to be providing my reflections on this song. Terrible pun. Anyway, it's basically just comprised of the same kind of clean guitar stuff you get on the album already, but just with a really warm and vibrant, I'd say, synth over it, and it's just really drawn out and sounds fucking sexy. There's no other way to put it. And it sounds like the music's crying out to you as you hear it, which is really cool. And that goes into the next song, which is Wolf Son. This one has a much more rock-oriented vibe than the previous songs on the album, which is cool because the up-paced is an interesting change. It's quite a bit faster than the previous songs. It's a bit weird to hear it after that interlude in context, like, you get that calmness that's just like, damn. Oh well. Anyway, but it's still quite heavy and atmospheric. There's a chord progression at a little after 4 minutes that I really enjoyed, and then all that, it builds upon that, so you get to hear it over and over, which is great, and that's followed by some really, really eerie, whispery singing that continues toward the end of this song, and it's a good song. And now that we've gotten the very rock-oriented contrast from Wolf Son, the album takes you back into that hellish black metal song with a black metal side of things, with a song that's appropriately titled The Black Sound. Ha ha ha. This is the other highlight from the album. Holy shit. Love the chords at the beginning. It's just like that perfect blend with evil black metal and gorgeousness. And there's some clean guitar work combined with acoustic work and whispered vocals at over 2 minutes that's just perfectly placed in context before going back to the fucking heaviness. And there's a really good section 2/3 into the song also. Just the riff structuring in the entire second half of this song is great. It's not like black metal riffing like fucking Prometheus and the Fire. Prometheus, the Discipline of Fire and Demise. I mean, you can't exactly top the innovation on that, but it's great. But I have a hard time digging the very ending, because it culminates all the things that I really disliked about this record, which I'll get to. But overall, this is a fantastic track. Then the album closes off with another rock-rooted song that sort of moves into black metal as it progresses. Some of the chords at the beginning, I can remember, really gave me a fucking Devin Townsend feel, which was really cool to hear. Like, I'm a fucking big fan of Devin Townsend's music. Like, I got Epic Cloud over here, even though I didn't review it. Still got it. But as the track progresses, there are more layers of harmony and atmosphere that keep building up on each other with this really sexy sounding chord progression. There's quite a bit more repetition in this song that helps for the atmospheric side of things. But one of the bad things about this song, it's kind of throughout the whole album, but it's really on this song, is the tone of the snare. God, it's fucking annoying. It's not like Saint Anger bad, but like, imagine like if you've heard Colossus, if you're really annoyed by the snare on the song The Hurt That Finds You First, like the tone of just like any annoying snare tones you can think of, it's like here, and it distracts from immersing you in the atmosphere completely, which is annoying. But there's an epic spoken vocal line towards the end, and these guys are from Britain, so the vocalist has a British accent, so it's like, oh, fucking awesome. I'm gay for British accents. But then the album after that ends with these really fucking desolate sounding chords, and it's a fitting close to the album. I think this album could have had a better closer song, because overall this album only had two main highlights for me. But yeah, album as a whole. If I had to describe this album in one word, describing it in one word is hard, but it's quite an immersive experience at points. And for the most part, everything flows really well. The songs here are really well structured. And yeah, the songs here are really, really well structured. And I like how this album executes its own unique style, as I said in the beginning of this review. I haven't really heard anything quite like this before on any other record. It's a unique blend of post-rock and atmospheric black metal, but there's a lot of emphasis on the post side of things with the extended song structures and just the atmospheric side of things with the production. But, like, when you think of atmospheric black metal, or when I do at least, I think of Wolves in the Throne Room. And not to sound like an elitist, but these guys are way less black metal than Wolves in the Throne Room. They're really focused more on the atmospheric side of... Well, not the atmospheric, but just, like... There's enough post-rock influence to where Wolves in the Throne Room seem like way more of a metal band. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but... yeah, this is a very abrasive record that tries to get that atmosphere through the production, but that's one of the things that turned me off about this album, gonna be honest. The production. I've never been a big fan of the whole lo-fi black metal production thing. I'm gonna go ahead and say that now, and that turned me off to a majority of this record, or just made it a bit harder to get into for me as a whole. Like, when I listen to music, I like to be able to hear as much detail in, like, the melody and the chords and exactly what's going on as possible. Yeah, you get that sort of immersive black metal, like, atmosphere thing, but I like to be able to hear everything that's going on as a musician and as a composer, so I just was irritated by that. It's an annoying production, I'm sorry. That's my opinion, though. But the high points of this album, in contrast, are definitely their vocalist. Their vocalist just, he's great. He's got those really tortured fucking screams and these just pure emotional cleans at points. And on the more rock-oriented songs like Wolf Son, he's got a bit of a, I'd say a slight twinge of punk in his singing too, which is kind of cool. But just one more bad thing I have to get out about this album. There are a few points where the drummer is, like, not fitting along with the music, and the lines he's doing are just, they're just distracting from the whole feel of it. Like, he'll try a grooving with him where it's completely unnecessary, and it just takes you out of the flow, and you're like, what the fuck? And it interrupts the serene darkness of this album for me. Thankfully, these moments, for the most part, are few and far between, but the snare drum still sounds pretty... it can get annoying on this record. Overall, considering there are things that I liked about this album, but and things that I disliked about this album, thinking about it, I'd have to give this a 7.5 out of 10. But if you're into, like, atmospheric metal or, like, post-metal at all, give this a try, because you might like it way more than I did. And I'm not saying I disliked it. I enjoyed it. It's just there were really only two big, amazing standout songs for me. So, go figure. That's it. I'm out.